Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to finally get this content out here. For a while I was procrastinating. I have perfection paralysis. If y'all know what that is, that means that everything's got to be perfect until you execute. And you know what? I'm doing a video about weight loss, going for it, rehacking the mindset. So this is what I'm doing for myself. So I'm in my car. I don't got no fancy bells, whistles, videos, memes popping in. Like, this is just raw, pure, uncut content. Like my freckles and my sweat, we here. So I just want to say thank you for watching and tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And two, comment. I always love to hear people's journeys, their weight loss journeys, or even things that they're experiencing as far as the lows, the highs, or even any questions. And also, this is my fitness journey. I have tips and tricks and things like that, but by no means am I a physician. So any advice that I have is to do your research. You don't have to follow my plan or anything that I did. This is just my own individual story. You can like it, you can hate it, you can do you, boo-boo. But yes, let's get into it. So 80 pounds naturally. So my first thing is that I want to say is this was over a period of years. It started when I had my son. So this was back in 2013. I was fairly heavy. I gained 63 pounds with him. And then I lost the weight and I hit the ground running, and I was back to my regular body before. And then I slowly but surely over the years, I gained the weight back and some more. So I was 219. I actually think I was 220, but 219. And then I got down to 139. Your girl did it. And I made all the mistakes. All the mistakes. And let me tell you guys, and I'm going to be real raw and real honest with you. My level of determination and competitive nature is what got the weight off initially, but my mindset is what got the weight back on afterwards, if that makes sense. So to make things clear, I do have a fitness background. I used to work at the gym, and I was a training assistant manager, and I used to watch people, and lifting weights was like my thing. That was my go-to. Like, I was strength trained. I was squatting about 285. Like, yes, I was going hard. Like, I loved that constant progression, and it was gratification knowing that I was getting stronger and stronger. It's like a physical manifestation of what you can do with weights. So that was the thing that I was obsessed with. And so that was how I was getting the weight off after my son, and you know, doing burpees and all kinds of stuff, doing pre-workout and drinking protein shakes. Fast forward to when I got the weight back on. Mind you, I'm going to the gym all the time, constantly, but I'm not only maintaining, I'm actually gaining a little bit more weight. So I started to have to focus on what's going on with me. And that's an act of self-love that I didn't have before. And so your mindset and how you treat yourself is literally the key to weight loss. And it sounds like a gimmick. It sounds like, really? Like, your mind can help you lose weight? Absolutely. I started to check in with myself and seeing what my body actually liked. And then I started to intuitively eat and intuitively exercise. My friend, at the time, she was a new coworker turned bestie. She was telling me about this trend, Beyonce's, like a 17-day plant-based diet. And I was like, girl, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. I'm not into the challenges, all that fad stuff, just doing something that's temporary. there's no reason for me to do it. But I was like, okay, just be open-minded. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that you can't at least be open to see what it's about. And I'm like, what do I have to lose eating better? So that's what I ended up trying. And then I completed the challenge, and I kid you not, I did lose a little bit of weight, but it wasn't the weight that got my attention. It was how I felt. And I was like, wow, there's something to this. So after the challenge, I ended up going back to my boring, chicken, brown rice, broccoli. And I threw up the chicken. And then I was like, oh, because it's not barbecued. So I ate the chicken again. And then I got sick. And so I was like, dude, did I accidentally reset my taste buds in my like diet? Like, what the heck? But because I felt good, I'm like, why would you reintroduce something back into your life where you don't really necessarily need it? Like, don't you like this feeling? And what is it about? So this is what I started doing to make things clear. I gained weight with my son. I lost the weight. I gained it back again and even more. Did the plant-based meal, Beyonce challenge, for 17 days. And then I started to research nutrition because I started feeling better and I lost a few pounds. So I was like, there's something to this. Like the eating, the nutrition, I don't think it has a lot to do with strength training and going to the gym. Although that's something that I love to do. And I'm a research junkie. Like, I'll go down a rabbit hole. So I started looking at plant-based foods. I started looking at, just what they put in the food that I was eating that I thought was healthy. I started looking into fasting, and I was like, oh, if I can do the 17-day thing, I could do like a fast. And I was like, oh, what if I do a plant-based fast? And I was like, is that even a thing? And it wasn't. So I really, because of my curiosity and this feeling of, it was like a self-determination to pay attention to what was going in my body instead of a self-determination to get skinny. So the research that I started finding out was, yes, of course, plants make you feel better. The plant-based diet, I did like the grains and, vegetables. And I didn't really do a bunch of fruit because I didn't want to re-trigger like a sugar craving. But I realized how powerful the human being is. And I was like, this is crazy. I changed my life with just a few habits, and then I just kept going. And it went from the plant-based to, just seeing, what I actually liked. And I love salmon, so I started eating salmon. And I introduced cheese back into my diet. Yes, it's bad for you still, but that's something I can't give up. I can't give up no cheese. And I already gave up bacon. Bacon was my favorite. Bacon was my first love. I even had a bacon t-shirt. And there was no way in my mind that I could never not eat meat. I'm like, that's a staple. Like, that's crazy. There's no way. And I actually did it. So once I accomplished it, I was like, this is something that I could work with. So when I started paying attention to intuitively what I wanted to eat and what made my body feel good, I started to look at what the body was doing. I got into fasting, and I started researching what fasting benefits, came along with not eating, and what I could have, what I couldn't have, what would break a fast, all these things. And I started to live a lifestyle of eating what my body liked. I noticed that my inflammation went away. My knees started to feel better. And then, here's the key. Then I felt like running. Then I felt like working out. Then I felt like running around the park with my son. Then I felt like jumping on the trampoline. Then I felt like not doing laps around the grocery store parking lot to get a front space to the door that's the closest. I just was like, wow, my mentality was so far off about what weight loss is. It is really about setting the intention to understand what is going on through your body, which is an act of self-love. Then your love of yourself comes back to you in the form of movement and freedom and less inflammation. And that is the best health hack ever. The weight started to come off, y'all, so fast that it kind of scared me. And yeah, I actually, these are, you see my little stretch marks? These is from my little boo-boo. But I actually started to notice I was getting loose skin, and the weight was coming off faster than I noticed. Just like when you're bigger, you don't notice that the weight goes on. I wasn't noticing that the weight was being lost so fast. And all I was doing was watching my weight as far as nutrition was concerned, my water intake, and then I would take walks on my lunch break and just live life, just be present, just like I said, play with my son. And I couldn't believe how much time I spent going to the gym. They said you gotta eat 6 meals a day, you gotta have your protein, you gotta make sure you're what are you doing, calorie counting, your macros. It was so insane. Well, all I had to do was just sit, relax, get to know myself, what I needed to be kind enough to just chill out. And I was just, it was almost a moment of sadness, like, wow, I've really been this hard on myself and really trying to do this way of weight loss with going to the gym and being so hard on my body when I didn't even ask what my body needed. And what's amazing to me is this was between a period of me being in my late 20s and now I'm in my, well, I was in my early 30s when the weight started to, you know, fall off. But a lot of times people were saying, you know, one, when you get older, the weight that you have is the weight that you're stuck with. Or they would say, this is your body now, you're never going to get down to your high school weight. Or and that wasn't even the intention. The intention was to feel good in my skin and to feel good in my clothes. But the mental hack for me is what did the weight loss trick. I started to research fasting, and I was doing the intermittent fasting, and then I was doing, you know, long bouts of fasting to where it was the 8 window, the 6 window, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I managed to work my way up to a 72-hour fast because I became accustomed to what constantly digesting food was like, to the point of I realized my relationship with food was not the best. And that feeling of being in control over what I'm doing with my life and my body and my energy and my time, it became something that was just like Oprah says, it was an aha moment. Like, wow, I couldn't believe, like I said, after years of just hitting the gym and going so often and not seeing any results versus relaxing and listening to what I wanted to do intuitively as far as my nutrition was concerned. I cut out a lot of things, and my body really rejected a lot of things after I came back from my fast. I was able to reset exactly what it is that I needed to be eating in order to feel my best. And in my 30s, I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. And that is way better than being or looking skinny. My whole being and my whole self-love just evolved, if that makes sense. So when I did decide to do fasting, I needed to realize, you know, there would be times where I would be tempted. So what could I do? I started looking into meditation. I do come from a religious background because I was raised in the church, non-denominational, Baptist, Christian, all of those things. But now I'm more of a spiritual person, and my relationship with God and the universe is my own. But back in my early childhood, fasting was a concept that I didn't quite understand, and it wasn't taught to me in any way, shape, or form on a spiritual level, because I do remember people say, oh, they're fasting, and then they would drink like a bunch of orange juice, or then they would like go to the buffet afterwards, and it was just very confusing. I didn't get it. But when I did my own research, and like I said, do you, boo-boo, do whatever you gotta do, my body just basically acclimated to my own personal needs, and I found my own way, and I found my own journey, and self-love was the thing that actually made me lose the weight, believe it or not. I know a lot of people, they like to tell you you have to do all these things and do all these workouts, and a lot of it is just marketing. Like, you literally don't need to live to eat. You need to eat to live. And once you actually get that concept, like, you feel like a badass. Like, I suggest everybody consult with the doctor first, but everybody try to do fasting. I have an ebook where I have a 30-day challenge and schedule, and it is, I can't say it's fail proof. It really depends on, like I said, your mindset. But because I had so much trial and error and I made a lot of mistakes, I decided to compile in a type of program and schedule that's so easy to follow for anybody that wants to try it. And I'm going to put the link down below. It's a copy of my ebook, and it's titled, I Lost My Mind to Lose the Weight. I literally had to lose my own mindset and my old mindset in order to lose the weight. I'll always contribute my weight loss to self-love and paying attention to myself and my needs. And it has been such an amazing journey, and an awakening also. It's just like, wow, who knew that taking the time to be kind to yourself would contribute to weight loss? And so, yes, that's my journey. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if there's anything that you would like to talk about, or any comments that you have, or like I said, your own personal experience with your weight loss journey, I would love to hear it. I haven't worked on a little saying yet, so until I do, have a blessed day. Be kind to yourself.